Hello, I'm back. Felipe from the Noob Trader. I've been gone for a week. I've just been so busy. I was moving places. I'm still in this room right now, but I'm moving to another place for a bit. Also got the vaccine, was really kind of feeling like shit. I've just been so busy, so that's why I haven't done a video for like a week or so. And so much shit has happened in the markets. I wish I was actually giving out my thoughts about the gold market. I mean, gold is definitely interesting. I'm still bullish, but obviously, especially with the press conference yesterday, there seems to have been a little bit of a shift in tone. I'm not going to lie from the Fed. I was a little bit surprised at the outcome. I'll do a video on that tomorrow. But today I just really wanted to do a quick update on my thoughts in general about the total market total market cap in crypto right now where, obviously over the last week or so, we've seen a pretty strong move to the downside. Again, more liquidations in the market. And overall, the crypto market, in terms of just from a valuation standpoint, right, when you're looking at the overall market cap, also when you look at alts too, um, it doesn't really look that great right now on the day chart, at least in my opinion. Seems like we're really setting in these kind of like lower highs and lower lows here at the moment. And now, we're doing a really, really important retest of the 2 trillion um, dollar level that we've been talking about for a while, which kind of coincides as well with the 50-day on the overall market cap chart. Um, and it just feels like a little bit as though momentum is starting to wane a bit. Um, but I think that the main thing that I really wanted to say with this video ultimately is that yes, like even if like from a technical standpoint in the short term, it still doesn't look that great. And it could be that, like more weekends are going to get pushed out and more people are going to start getting liquidated or even more so, as we keep on getting these kind of like very, very volatile pushes to the upside and even stronger pushes to the downside. I just want to give my thoughts more from like slightly more of a fundamental standpoint as to like why like I'm still not personally that worried just given what I've talked about before. Um, First of all, if you look at the market, if that the overall market, you really see that it's a lot of the layer one protocol plays that are driving the market, right? Whether it's Avalanche, whether it's Phantom, whether it's Harmony, whether it's Cardano, whether it's Dot, whatever it may be, these are the plays that are really pushing the market just because they're releasing these campaigns or these projects, these marketing initiatives that where they're just giving away free money. They're giving away free money. And I still find it hard to believe that when these kinds of protocols are offering free money like that, I find it hard to believe that uh, we're going to see such a crazy strong pull to the downside, even with all of the people getting liquidated all the time, which is causing these strong, drastic moves in the market. The fact that so much free money is coming onto the market, onto these protocols, is so fundamentally bullish, in my opinion, at least kind of in this like more like, longer term period of like a few months or so, or like, even maybe the year. So and that's not going away. That doesn't like, regardless of the price action that we see in the day chart or whatnot, this isn't going to go away. And I just like with just given how much money there is out there right now, VC money that's flowing into these projects, everybody who's trying to just become, basically multi-billionaires, from having people put their money on their specific protocol. I just don't see how this is going to stop still. And when you really start looking also at the weekly chart, it really also starts to put things into perspective that really, I mean, when you look at that weekly run up that we had over the last, for a period of almost about 7 weeks, right? Now we're having a downside correction of 3 weeks, but if I drew the fib out, it looks like we're really pretty much bouncing off at the point 0.5 here, which is looking pretty healthy, right? We've had a strong bounce as well on the 21 day and the 20 day. And yes, on the shorter term time frame, it does look like we're getting rejected a little bit at the $2 trillion level, but I just think that especially if you're a lot more long-term bullish on crypto, whether that's, 5 years or whether that's even just over the next few months or the next 6 to 12 months, I still think that that the overall market doesn't look that bad, So I know that a lot of people may be freaking out right now about the state of the market, and especially with those liquidations, I understand. Part of me is a little bit worried about all the liquidations that are happening in the market just because um, given how many uneducated, not uneducated, but inexperienced, let's say, um, investors there are in the market, and just given the natural crazy volatility. I mean, yeah, it's scary when you see prices, flash crash by like 30 or 40% sometimes, but um, when you really understand that this is just the nature of a market that's heavily leveraged, just like gold, okay, if not even more so. And then on the top of that, you just have way less liquidity in these markets compared to gold. So therefore, big moves in the market can still trigger these ridiculous liquidations much faster. And at the same time, with spot markets, the order books being so thin, when you understand this whole kind of um, just the nature of how this market currently is positioned, okay, then you realize that it's actually pretty normal and that actually it shouldn't take your focus away, or at least personally take my focus away from the fact that fundamentally right now, I still think that there's a lot of bullish things going on in the market, such as all this free money, right? One argument I've also been hearing is that, well, if the market were to really try and break this $2.5 trillion level, right, and let's say try and push to 3 trillion or 4 trillion or 5 trillion, that you would need to get the liquidity from somewhere, right? And there that, with the stimulus going away, with all of these, with there just being just overall maybe less free money given out. Like a lot of people think that a lot of the COVID stimulus packages, for example, in the States helped really push this. Chinese money maybe, but obviously the Chinese economy hasn't been doing that well. And, people are questioning whether there's really enough money to push a market like crypto from 2.5 trillion to, let's say, 3, 4, 5 trillion dollars. And my argument to that is just that I think that, again, these people are, first of all, are kind of missing the fact that right now there isn't necessarily that much, like, for example, retail liquidity, let's say, in the market at the moment, just because the market is so over leveraged. So the fact that the market's so over leveraged is um, it's kind of making everything appear just almost way more absurd than it really is. There really isn't that much volume necessarily and that much liquidity in the market still. And when you really compare the crypto markets, right, um, to other asset classes, I mean, $2.5 trillion or $2 trillion is frankly nothing. It's really nothing. And yes, of course, I'll be the first to admit that the vast majority of the crypto market is also just so speculative with very little use case. Don't get me wrong, I totally understand that, but to think that 2 trillion like that, or rather that there couldn't be an additional $0.5 trillion or 1 trillion or $1.5 trillion out there that can't flow into this market if the market were to start getting really, really hot, like go on a really strong parabolic run. I just don't believe that argument at all. And frankly, I think it's just a bunch of bullshit, really. I just think it's a little bit more of a misinformed take on the market. Um, there certainly is enough liquidity to push, especially just also given the fact that these markets are leveraged. There's certainly enough liquidity to really push these markets up towards those higher valuation levels. And so, yeah, long story short, guys, in my opinion, yes, maybe in the short term, like, over the next maybe a few weeks to a month, maybe we're going to see a little bit more downside price action. It's going to be really interesting to see how we close over the next few days at the $2 trillion level. Um, but again, fundamentally, I still think that there's a lot of bullish or things to be bullish about. And that's not going to change, even if the overall market cap were to drop back towards the 1.6 trillion dollar level. And if Bitcoin were to go back towards, 38, 40K, or even back towards 35 or 30K, and if ETH were to go back towards the 2.25 or 2K level, um, there's still a lot of fundamentally bullish things going on that I do think will prop up the markets back and consequently also lead to liquidity coming into the market. Last thing I'll say, look at how Avalanche has been pushing up, right? With just all the liquidity being shifted onto the protocol with the free money that they're bringing out. Look at the price action on this. Now, can you actually imagine if it wasn't just Avalanche, but a significant portion of the market going really crazy speculative? That's when I personally am, that's the kind of sign I'm really looking for to say, okay, well, this may be a legitimate market top. But I mean, just look at this. And if you think that like, if imagine if you had then like 20, 30, 40 projects that were just also seeing just crazy parabolic push drives up in or pushes up in price, I definitely think that more liquidity could come into this market. I definitely think more retail money could come into this market. And I do think a lot, a lot more, let's say so-called big money could come into the market. So yeah, I'm not concerned, but let's see how it plays out the next coming days. But just wanted to give my thoughts on this. I'll try and do a video on gold tomorrow because gold's also been really, really interesting. I'm also going to try and do a video on a new yield farm I set up on Harmony. But anyways, guys, sorry for the delay in the videos, and I hope you found this interesting. If you liked my thoughts, please leave a comment. Happy to respond. Consider giving this video a like, and I'll talk to you soon.